Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance, in my Command Block Basics tutorial series. This is episode 2. If you saw episode 1, you'll know that we've already talked about the basics of console commands. That's by physically typing a command into a command block to tell it what to do, in a similar way that you would put a command into chat. So that can allow you to give things to people, it can allow you to kill entities, it can allow you to do things like teleportation, but it doesn't allow multiple commands. You can only do it one at a time, and it'll only fire with every time you put a redstone pulse through it. There is a lot more to command blocks than that, so we're going to look at the different types of command block settings you can have. The first thing I want you to notice is that the command blocks have arrows on them. These are not little house shapes that are meant to look like some clever electronic wizardry. They are specifically designed to show the direction of the command block. You can see that one is pointing to the right. That one is pointing to the right in that direction. This one is pointing upwards. This one is pointing downwards. Now the direction doesn't always matter, especially with this type of block, the orange block, which is called the impulse block. But sometimes it really does matter and can be the difference between a command block system working and it going wrong. We'll come back to these directions in a minute. Let's start with the default command block. That is the impulse block. It is this nice orange colour, and it is what you will get when you first ask for a command block using the /give command. If we click into it, you can see the console command section that we were using last time, but you can also see these 3 buttons here. We're going to talk about this button first of all. You can see it says impulse. Now the impulse command block will work whenever an impulse is put through it, i.e. a redstone signal. For each redstone signal, it will fire just once. So if you press the button, it runs the command that is in the console, and then it doesn't do it again until it gets another redstone signal. These command blocks are generally independent of other command blocks, but they are totally dependent on redstone signals. We can change this by left clicking on it to chain. So if we then click done, you'll see it has changed colour. So you can tell a chain block from an impulse block very, very easily. This green chain block will only fire if a block that is pointing directly at it, a command block, has its command fired. So if an impulse block has a redstone signal put through it and it is told to /give something, that command will fire, and if it is pointing directly at this block with the arrow, hence the arrows being so important, the command in this chain block will also fire. So it could be /give whatever from the impulse block, and this one could then teleport that person to another area. You could use this in an adventure map where you press a button, you're given an item, and you're moved away from the area to a brand new area. It's quite a powerful way of causing commands to happen one after the other in very quick succession. What we also have is the repeat command block, and the repeat command block is purple. Dead easy to tell the difference there. Now this repeat command block is a rapid fire command block. It will fire its command once every game tick. Now under normal circumstances that will be 20 times a second. So it's a very rapidly used block. You have to be very cautious if you've got lots and lots of these blocks in the same area, because each fire is an update which can cause lag. So do be cautious. Before we move on with some examples, we're going to look at these other 2 buttons. These other 2 buttons are actually incredibly important. First off, unconditional. You can toggle that to conditional and back to unconditional again. Now, conditional mode means that the command will only happen in this block if the block before it, the block behind it, has a successful attempt at its own command. So if the block behind it has a /give command and it turns on and it works, then this block will now have its own attempt to use that command. If it's unconditional, it doesn't care less whether or not the block behind it was successful or not. It just really wants to do its own command. So that's the difference between conditional and unconditional. Needs redstone or always active. Sounds fairly obvious. If it needs redstone, that means it needs a redstone signal in order for it to operate. Same as a light requires a switch turned on for it to actually work. Now that could be that it's sitting on a block of redstone, for example, so it's always got the power, or there is a redstone line running straight into it, or it's got a block next to it that has been hard powered by a comparator or repeater or something like that. Always active means it doesn't need that power. It's got the power within itself to be able to fire as long as it's got the command activated from an external source. For example, an impulse block activating a chain command block. So we are going to have a go at this with an example. I'm going to type the command give Avomance a Minecraft diamond. So on that command, the game will automatically put a single diamond into my inventory. We have got an always active command here. It is unconditional, therefore it isn't waiting for something to come from somewhere else. So we're going to press done, and it automatically gives us that diamond. It didn't wait for us to press a button or activate the block, it just did it automatically because it was always active. However, with an impulse block, that's done that once already. So if I click into it and come out again, it doesn't work. The command is set, but it's already done its command. We need to reset that, and it will do it again. So we're going to have a bit of a play with these command blocks here. We've got a line of these chain blocks and a single impulse block at the beginning. Now you can see we've got a arrow shape that's got a straight back here. And here we've got an arrow shape with an indent. The difference between these two blocks is this is unconditional and these are conditional. So they're conditional. The arrow changes its shape. So you can see at a glance whether it is conditional or unconditional. If I change that, you can see it changes to that flat side. So it's dead easy to see, and it changes on all of the sides as well. So we've got a series of commands. The impulse is going to say hello to me. This is going to say how. It's going to do a series of other things. It's going to give me a present, and then it's going to tell me to go away and pop me over there somewhere. So let's see whether or not this actually works. We're going to get a message, a gift, and we're going to teleport. 3, 2, 1, boom. So it said, hello, how are you? Have a present. Give me 64 emerald blocks and lobbed me about 10 blocks in this direction. It could, of course, have teleported me a million blocks. It doesn't matter about the distance. Another useful application you can use for these chained blocks is to create wireless redstone. Now this one's really interesting, especially if you're creating some kind of adventure map. You can have a player press a button in one place and it trigger a redstone signal in a completely different place. And this is especially important when it's either a long way away, as long as the chunk is actually loaded, or alternatively, if you've just not got room to put any complicated redstone in, you could just make a redstone signal flash on and flash straight back off again in anywhere you like. And I'm going to demonstrate this by pressing this button right here. Watch those 3 redstone lamps. Who needs redstone, says the impulse block, and it's quite right. Flash it on, flash it off, and that means that you can activate all kinds of clever stuff going on all over the place without redstone lines and comparators and repeaters and goodness only knows what else. This is achieved, obviously you've got the say command in there. This is achieved as a result of using the set block command. What that's doing is it's looking at a block in the world and it is changing that block to another block. So in -101 64 -409, I have changed the earth underneath that block there into a redstone block, and then the next one turns it into stone. So it takes the redstone signal away. This one then does it for the center block, and this one does it for the block on the right. So dead easy. Press the button, you get a redstone signal. If we take away this here, you can see that we've got stone there, and if I press the button looking at that particular area, keep your eyes on it, you can see it happens so fast you don't get to see it actually physically change to a redstone block because it immediately turns into stone. But if we were to put it as an earth block, you would see the end result of the stone block. There you go. So that's a quick run over of the different settings a command block can have and how you can combine those with the actual console commands to get some interesting chained up results for it to do multiple things at the same time. Stick these into adventure maps or into a multiplayer server and you can get some really interesting effects without the need for everybody to be OP on the server. What would you like to know about command blocks? Perhaps you could pop a question in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them and I will keep on making them. And also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.